Welcome to Nas 716 Studio. You're locked into Keeping It Frank. I am Frank Hanley. Welcome. I know we're here a little bit early today. I pray that your day is going well thus far. Listen, this show is going to be a little bit different. I came to you guys on last week. We talked about unity and you guys coming together as a unit. But today's word of the day, if I can say it myself, is being accountable. I don't want to come in today with the bad news and the rigmarole, but I have to keep it frank, have to keep it very honest. And over the last few days, the information and the knowledge that has come in my direction from the community has not been a positive one. I'm not sure if you've been following the news. I know media and all those things, but we have had several shootings over the past several days, as well as some fatalities in those situations. And it's overwhelming to the degree because to lose someone is pressure. To have someone that you love and care about no longer be with you because of violence, it is discouraging. And also to have a loved one on the other side of the gun, it is something that is painful and that hurts. But then the question that I have today, what really echoes in my spirit, is what's the solution, but what are we doing among ourselves to hold people accountable for not only their actions, their behavior, but their involvement in certain things, okay? Because what has happened in the last several days has put pressure and weight on the community to know, wait a minute now, the guns are present in our city, and they're getting very much active right here in the inner city of Niagara Falls. Not saying that Niagara Falls is not a good place to come live, to come and build, to restore. We are financially feasible for the most part for advancing and growing and building, but we must have a conversation between ourselves, our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors, and those who are within the community. Because at this point in time, somebody has to be a voice, not only a voice, somebody has to be the pressure. And I'm going to say how I hear it. Somebody has to be the pressure. And when I say that no, not just a rally, not just a conversation, but being bold enough to stand up and be aware of, hey, in my community, I know that this is happening and this is going down. In my community, I know that this person or that person or these individuals are making it unsafe for my children to live and be successful. Because if you pay attention to the last report and the last few days, that the conversation that we've been having, if you will, has been centered around the same area. We go from Pine Avenue and 7th. We're going to Portage and Pine Avenue. We're going Main Street. We're going Main and Elmwood. This is the same area. This is walking distance. This is less than a mile radius of violence taking place in our neighborhood and among our community. And at some point, we have to hold individuals and ourselves accountable. Y'all may not like me as much as you did the first show, but the truth of the matter is that as much as I'm a son, I'm also a brother. I am a father. I am a minister. I'm an elder. I have a responsibility to those who are around me and that's connected to me when it comes down to the violence that we're facing in our city. Can I just be as honest as I need to be? There's no need for us to call for justice around the world. And I get it. I understand it. But we're not willing to be accountable at home. We're not willing to have that hard conversations with our cousins, our relatives, you know. And this is not, I'm going to say this right now because I know how this conversation goes. It is not just a black thing. This is crossing cultures because, once again, we just got, if you listen to the news, we just got information about a teacher in the suburb areas of Buffalo who had, drugs, guns, and et cetera. So we have to hold each other accountable like never before. And I need you to walk into your family. I know that's your loved one. I know that you love them. But if you are aware that they are engaged in behavior or conduct that will cause them to either have to end a life, get their life ended, or be imprisoned, it's time to have a conversation with them and hold them accountable. Now, I am not naive. I'm not blind to the fact that we have family here who are engaged in stuff because of poverty, because of challenges and difficulties. I understand that. But there's a responsibility that we have to each other to hold them accountable. Now, I know we love them, and I'm not knocking your love, I'm not knocking your affection, but one thing about love is true. Love is honest. Love is real. Love has a responsibility that says, you know what, because I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Because I love you, I'm going to be honest with you. Because some of us, if we are very honest, we have elders who have already gone through this journey, who are living their better side of life, but they've been through the violence. They've been incarcerated. They've had that struggle, but we're not having that conversation from the elders to the young individuals who are growing up. We're not exchanging the wisdom because you feel as if, oh, they won't receive it, they won't hear it. No, we need to know. Somebody has to step up and be that conversation that says, listen, you don't want to get involved in this because this is the outcome. Now, some will listen, some won't, but if you can save one, that's enough. If you can save two, that's enough. If you can stop somebody from engaging in activity that is going to cause their life to be shortened, and I say this on both sides of the spectrum. I'm going to be honest. Now, if you read the story, you know it. The storyline that I read recently was a young man who happened to get shot, and his demise came at the hands of one of those who we would call not elderly, but our elders. Wait a minute. We haven't. One of the things about being accountable is we have to understand that we all have a responsibility to play in this matter. We have a responsibility to discuss and to be real and transparent, but at some point, we have to grow up and it evolve. Now, I'm going to be very honest. I don't know the details of any of these scenarios outside of what's been reported from the news. I don't know what triggered what, why it was, or what gang is. I don't have any of that information, and I won't sit here and pretend that I do. But what I do know is to watch the lives of a young man disappear, and to watch the one who had to pull the trigger time, who is a father. You know, he is a son. To watch the consequences of these matters, they hurt. Now today, happening even at 6 o'clock right now, is getting ready to, at 6 o'clock, we're having a prayer at the corner of Pine and Portage. Now, y'all don't know me. I'm a praying man. I believe in prayer. I pray. I commune with God on a regular basis. That's just who I am. If those who don't know, I used to do noonday prayer 5 days a week throughout the week. And I love to pray. I can pray. But after you pray, there's a level called faith, but faith requires work. And it's time for us to put our hands to the plow aggressively, because I'm going to be very honest, once again, because of the increase of fatalities and crime in the area, they're going to increase police patrol. They're going to. It's only right. Now, for somebody to get on here and say, "Oh, they're only doing it because it's the urban city." Well, guess what? We just gave them carte blanche. We just gave them access to patrol more, to be more present. And we may have a disdain or a dislike. We are human. We all have our likes and dislikes. But guess what? Somebody has to stop it. Somebody has to speak up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like we don't know. Oh, don't snitch. No, we're not snitching. Or I'm not going to snitch on my brother. I hear you. But understand that same conversation of you saying, oh, I'm not going to snitch. I get it. Snitches get stitches. We know the phrase. We've been around. But the same problem you're going to have is you're going to be the same person yelling out, free my bro. You'll be the same person preparing a funeral for somebody. And I know that today is not as fun and laughing as you want it to be, but I have to just keep it frank. I have to be honest with you that the challenges that we're facing in our community are heartbreaking. They're heartbreaking. That for the last 3 days, that every day, that there's been an announcement, there's been a news story about a shooting. Now, last week I talked about unity, but we got the negative storyline. We have the negative output, and once you put the information on social media Everybody has their opinion, and I'm not here to fight anybody's opinions, their thoughts, their ideas, their culture, what they think, how they feel. I'm not here to combat that because everyone's concept is different. But what I do know is that in comparison, I want the news to change. I want the narrative to change concerning us. I want it to be different. I want it to be hey, look at this new business. Hey, look at this new plan. Hey, look at this new agenda. Hey, look at this new advancement. Look at this new program for the children. Look at the new positive things. But right now, the negative is shining brighter than the positive. And it hurts, and it's challenging, and it's discouraging as a I would say young man, because just what I do, okay? Everybody's young man. You can be 76, you're still a young man, okay? As a young man, developing and evolving and learning, it's discouraging to see that, dang, I still got to fight this violence. I still got to fight this crime. As aggressive as it's become. But guess what? We have the power, we have the authority, and there's no need to sit home and complain. No need to sit where you at and complain. There's no need for me to sit here and do all this yelling and screaming that I do, because I talk loud, all this yelling and screaming that I'm doing, and I have nothing, I have no irons in the fire as how we can resolve this, how we can fix this, what can we put in place, what can we give our kids something to do outside of crime. What's available for the majority of the children located in the city of Niagara Falls to do? The school is out. The summertime is coming. What programs are in place for the children to do and to learn, to build, to be creative, to be occupied with something that is outside of crime? I'm not saying that they don't exist, but I will say I will put more effort in finding out what's available. Yes, we got connections, and I'm grateful. We got the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm grateful. We have the 66th Street, I believe, sports center, which is open. You know, there are things out there, so I won't tell you that there's nothing for them to do, but the accessibility of it and the knowledge of it, where is it? Because my son, though he's about to turn 1 next week. Shout out to him. He's getting ready to turn 1. But I need to have things in place going down the line. 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, that there are things in place that, listen, there are, you can gain, this is good for somebody, that you can gain a diversity of experience in one location. What you mean, Frank? In other words, that there should be things set up to expose our children to the diversity of not only culture, but of science, of mathematics, of how these things can be applied. You know, here at NAS Studio 716, there should be an engineering program. Why not? To teach kids how to do sound engineering, broadcasting, and 5716 radio, Hanley Studios, the same concept that exposed them to something else, to expose them to trade. Because guess what? You're still going to need a plumber to build a building. You're still going to need carpenters to create things. You're still going to need engineers. Like, I have children who I come across who are gifted and talented and have the capability, but because of the lack of exposure or access, they're just brushed over. Let me help you, and I'm going to be very honest here. As much as I believe in education, and I believe education is important, there are some children who are young adults who college might not be the fit for them, that schooling may be challenging, but they can learn a trade and become a master in it. They can learn a skill and become a master in it. They can cook, chef. I've learned, the reason why I have Fire 716 radio is because I interned. And when I interned, I gained knowledge. And because of the demand of the station, I was able to learn and build and evolve. So I learned how to do radio programming. I learned how to do radio production. I've learned how to be a personality on the radio. I learned how to be the program director. I learned how to be the engineer. I learned how the systems communicated with each other. But that was because I was in a place where I was in college, I had to intern, and they gave me exposure to something that I thought about but never seen happen before. And as adults, as raising children, as a community, we have to put things in place that's going to expose our children to things outside of I'm gonna say it how I hear it, outside of a hood mentality and a poverty mindset. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Y'all may not like me for this, but it's okay. I believe they call it the fourth ward. I could be off, but please don't fact check me. I could be wrong if that's what they call it. But the success that we see in front of us come from those who are engaging in activity that's illegal. We don't know how to. It's not presented to us how to access, how to be a successful businessman or a businesswoman, how to build a home business. Because let me help you real quick. We got a lot of home businesses. Got people in the house cooking and sauteing and selling dinners. But why can't that person have a restaurant, get a business, and let somebody help them to develop that skill into a mastery class? Why aren't there people in front of us on a consistent basis? I love the one-day program. I love every once in a while we got something. But on a consistent basis, somebody has to show me how, if I was a young man, I see your success, but now show me how to get it. How do I successfully go after what it is that I see in front of me? Yes, you're a doctor. Yes, you're a lawyer. Yes, you're a chef. Yes, you're a businessman. Yes, you're a radio owner. But how do I, a young man who's been in high school and college, I've been struggling with my finances, show me how to get where you are? And I go back to this word I use a lot. You hear this word a lot called mentors. Mentors are important because a mentor is not just a random person who's doing well, but somebody who has the compassion and the time to reveal the process to somebody else. Here I go. Don't y'all kick me off and don't y'all dismiss me, okay? As I look around, and I'm going to say this because I'm a part of the Niagara Falls Ministerial Council. When I look around to what we call succession, and that means that there's somebody to take over the business or the organization or the plan after I either want to retire, to transition, or I realize that I've become ill and I can no longer manage it. Where is the succession? Where is the person that you're developing next in line to take over just by chance you cannot, or your time is like, hey, my time is up here. I've done my due diligence. I've given what I can do. I can give wise counsel, but it's time for a new phase. I'm having a hard time, nothing else.